Welcome to EventUp, the place where people enthusiastic about events stay in the know on the latest trends within the events industry. Live, hybrid, and virtual experiences. From virtual events to conferences, award galas, and everything in between.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of EventUp Podcast. My name is Sara Rosas. I'm co-host of EventUp Pod, and I'm also Director of Partnerships at IMG. I am so excited to welcome a guest whose career brings together marketing analytics, creativity, and a genuine passion for connecting people. Joining us today is Bria Demetrius, Consumer Marketing Manager at Cox Communications. Bria is an insight-led and performance-focused marketer known for transforming analytics into meaningful, results-driven strategies. She leads integrated marketing initiatives, builds strong cross-functional partnerships, and ensures that every customer touchpoint aligns with broader business goals. Actually, Cox is a former client of IMG, and we have loved working with your team and hope to partner with you directly soon. So welcome to the show, Bria.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. We were so excited. I met you by chance at a A&A committee meeting, and I just loved your energy. And then you told me that, you worked for one of our clients, and I was like, oh my God, this is so serendipitous. And just getting to know you and following you and stalking a little, finding such interesting campaigns that you've been working on and projects. And yeah, so thank you for joining us today. I know that it's going to be such an enriching conversation for our audience. So to start us off, tell our audience a little bit about how you got started, what inspired you to get into consumer marketing and create meaningful experiences. What were your, baby marketer days like?
Yeah, baby marketer days. I like that term. So I kind of got into marketing indirectly. I started in TV news. My major in college was broadcast journalism. So it was like broadcast, PR, mass communications world. And I took a few jobs early on in TV news producing the newscasts. And that was fun. And I saw that they also had news side of the station and then sales department. So that kind of transitioned into look how much freedom the sales teams have. And they're doing marketing basically for the TV stations. So I saw that and I kind of got indirectly into sales. And just different experiences led me to say marketing plus sales, and journalism. So it was an easy transition. It was a taste of events, taste of talking to people, creating meaningful experiences. And I just fell in love with it.
That's amazing. I feel like most of the best stories you hear is oh, by chance. I was actually working on this and then I found this and I got passionate about it. And of course, yes, sales and marketing is such a fun space and it gives you a lot of leeway. It's also very you really have to commit and you have to put in 120%, but
Oh, yeah.
I agree that it takes a special kind of person to get into marketing. So that's so interesting. Thank you for sharing that. And you describe yourself as insight-led and performance-focused. How does that approach influence how you design customer experience in any of your campaigns?
Insights led is very key, I feel to any kind of communication. It's almost like a Bible, like a guide for you and to what you're doing. I feel it grounds everything, with the data, consumer behavior, engagement trends, different pain points, having that insights, you want to make sure that you use it and actually put it in your campaign. So that's just an initial guide. And for me, it's the go-to and very, very first step when developing anything.
It's so interesting because I feel like a lot of people use that term of oh yeah, we're insight based and we are very driven by the knowledge. But I feel like it really takes a special skill and almost like an instinct to be able to capture those insights, right?
Right.
Is there any experience or any case that you can share with us of how you applied an insight into one of your campaigns?
Yeah, I recently did a military campaign for my current company where we have our footprint in top military bases markets,
Mm-hmm.
which happens to be the top markets for the United States. So I was just naming San Diego, Pensacola, Florida. in the DMV area, Virginia, DC, top military bases. So having that knowledge of where the military members and our service members live, and like we should make a campaign to reach directly to them. Using the insights of knowing their way of life, their needs, cultural, using those insights to create a campaign to generate more sales for us was very helpful.
That's so interesting. And I feel like you always have to tie insights into research, right? Because of course you
Absolutely.
can sense the insight, but then you also have to back it up with research and understanding of the consumer.
Absolutely. So using those insights, we did like a trial, like A/B kind of testing for a campaign to offer a military discount for our services. And we started by doing like a 30, 60-day trial just in one market. Now we have expanded that. That trial went great. We got good results. We got more insights. We were able to learn from our learnings, and then we were able to launch that nationally. And that it's up and running in all of our markets. We now offer discounts for military members and
That's
police and
insane.
EMS and teachers.
Mhm.
It expanded on, but yeah, that's great.
So absolutely, the success of the campaign was reliant on understanding the consumer, because if you don't even know like such a small basic data point, which is geolocation, how are you going to target them appropriately, right?
Right.
That's so
And then you have,
interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
I was gonna say, then you have like your vets, and then you have your active ones, and knowing who needs to maybe suspend their services while they're out on deployment versus
Mm.
our vets who might need a discount because they're on a fixed income or vice versa. Like all of those insights are great.
That's so interesting.
Mhm.
And you've worked for a few years now in the telecommunications space. How do you create marketing strategies in such a competitive space? I feel like the offerings and the services it's hard to differentiate your product or your service. So how do you come about that?
Yeah, you have to have, I guess, company integrity and like your brand standards and kind of like stay the course and stay focused on what you're known for. If you get tied up in that competitive race, you're just trying to grab anything that falls, it could get sticky. But you, at the same time, you do want to make sure that you are responding quickly to different new technology or new price points that a competitor has. So when you do a campaign, you always want to leave that wiggle room to like go up or down based on market trends.
So staying loyal and true to who you are, but
Mhm.
yet be flexible and adapt to the consumer's needs, right?
Yes, that's a great, you put it, that's a great
It's
recap.
not
I
an
love how you
easy
put that.
fit.
It's not an easy fix, but you have to be flexible and ready to change. It's a rapid pace. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, I admire you. I don't even know how you come up with, just a running campaign that has to do both, that has to do like targeted communications, but also to speak to a broader audience. And that is quite a challenge. So I commend you for that. What do you think sets apart your campaigns from your competitors?
Well, that's a great question. I would say sticking to our brand, we pretty much stick to Cox standards, leaving with family first, taking care of our people, being people focused, and not so much money hungry, if that's the correct political term to say. But as far as like the campaign sticking out, having that brand voice that will carry throughout. It's a strong brand, it's a reliable source. And some of the competitors are just too new or maybe all over the place with lots of changes. But yeah, there's always room for opportunity on both sides with competitors to do mimic some of the things that they're doing and to stick to what we do.
That is really, really insightful, because I feel like a lot of what we hear today is not that. Like we don't hear, let's build a strong, loyal community, right? It's like expand, expand, expand. And getting to know a brand like Cox and what you've built with your team is very interesting to hear, that you are trying to build something for the long run, which is actually what you need in your industry and what you would hope, right? You want loyal consumers that will stay with you for a lifetime. So staying true to who you are and being family oriented, it's very interesting. So one of the projects that you and I were talking about previously is that you were part of a fiber migration in Douglas, Arizona. It was like a huge community, moment. How do you approach such a challenge with a smooth, positive experience for the people involved?
Yeah, I think it definitely is like a cross-functional, all hands on deck team effort when you're migrating an entire city. For me, my first step was to like understand like who those customers are and what are they in need of and how can we support them through like this major change. I take it on like as an like investigation, I pull out my insights, I look at the data, look at the analytics. I even like read the top local news in that area just to kind of get a feel of like what's happening, how can we come in and say that this big change is happening. So it's not too scary of like, or we lose customers there just to help with that churn. So pulling those insights, looking at like Google images of the city or like neighborhoods or like the main downtown area, or any kind of like little details. I like to be like an investigator, and that's part of my journalism background and investigating. But I think it gives me like a good feel for the community and the city and know who I'm talking to and who I'm approaching. Because you'll be surprised of what you can find like with basic census data of an area. And you never want to assume before making like a huge migration or like a campaign. And I also connect with like our local teams that we have like on the ground for their perspective and the people that we have at our retail stores just to bring everything to life from that.
Can you tell us a little bit about like what strategies you use? Because I'm hearing a lot of like PR. What other type of what was the campaign around?
So the campaign is basically communicating to our customers that they have to switch their internet, that it's changing from HFC to fiber. So we are using over 30 touch points with every channel you could think of. So email, and they'll get email bi-weekly. And if they don't respond to the email, then they'll get a third email within that month. So we're doing emails, we're doing direct mail, social media. We have out of home signages, customer retail store outreach. We have IVRs, like when you call in, hi, we know you're calling from Douglas. This is happening to you. Every touch point possible and every channel possible, we're working on. We have our like footprint in.
That's
We also
crazy.
have
How do
like
you even manage all that?
we have a planner and a tracker. So I put together the strategy first. Then we lock in on a timeline, which is hard because you're dealing with construction, public affairs, retail, finance, like all teams, but you get that timeline. And then we just do like a 120-day migration plan, and then 90-day plan, 30-day plan, 60-day plan, and it goes from there. And my strategy is based on customer response. So if you haven't called us about it, if you haven't scheduled your appointment to get your new internet, you're going to keep getting those communications. And as we get closer to the cutoff date, they're going to be more, you have to do this now, more urgent.
So this podcast is all about experiences, whether they are event experiences or through a sensory campaign or any touch point that you have with your client. We really try to make it as experiential as possible. Do you have any examples in your career where you had to develop a campaign that was more about the experience than the messaging, where the experience was more important than actual message?
Yeah. So what comes to mind is when I worked in radio. I was a media consultant, so I saw radio ads, digital ads, and events. And we often paired that in like a bundle package to local clients in Miami. So I had a plastic surgery client who wanted to increase leads for our mommy makeover a procedure. And like you said in the question, like I didn't want to just focus on messaging or just do like a billboard or just a radio ad that says mommy makeover, I don't know, whatever price point, $10,000 off or $10,000 and quick and painless. I wanted to really walk consumer through like a traditional experience of or non-traditional experience of what a mommy makeover can do to them and just kind of make sure to touch them emotionally. So what I came up with was to have one of our radio talents actually have procedures done. She didn't necessarily get a mommy makeover. She got like a boot lift, a eye lift, and I believe that was it. Procedures done. But what we did was like start from the very beginning, like I am thinking about having plastic surgery. So you will hear her on her daily show. I'm thinking about having plastic surgery. I think it'll make me feel and all the reasons why. And then you will see her on social media having those same thoughts. Like, I just wanted to get myself a little tweaks, like starting from the very beginning and walking them through the experience. The second part of that was I'm at my consultation. So we actually filmed it. We actually took the video snippets, walked the customer like this is how it would be, how easy it is to come in, just get a consultation, easy and free to see like if you're qualified, if you're a good candidate, if this is something that you want to do. And we walked the customer through that process all the way until surgery day and after surgery. And after surgery is look how great I look and feel. I'm so glad I visited this plastic surgery and I have this done. My confidence, I'm out enjoying my life. So just taking that challenge and putting it in her everyday life in real world and what people know about her, it was huge. It was a huge hit, a big success.
And what I'm hearing is that you're building a campaign through storytelling, right? You're
Yes.
building expectations, you're building a story around this person that their audience is already attached to. And what a creative way to just, build trust also through her personal experience and build, of course, interest in the practice. But that's so interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so switching gears a little bit, I was very surprised when I heard this. So you built an event planning app. It's called Kinship Sync. Can you tell me what inspired you to create it?
Yeah, Kinship is like a passion project for me. I'm very happy and proud of it. I am my family's event planner and go to,
Mm.
or I need something, I need this, I want to do this. And I always investigate it, find it, and get it done. So I wanted to kind of streamline family reunions event planning. And with this app, it's possible for families to download it, plan their family reunion in as little as 5 minutes. So it's like core functioning event planning. It just keeps all the reunion details in one place. Everyone can log in, message each other, share ideas, and just see like a central point for all of the itinerary details. So yeah, it's great. It's on the App Store now. It's called Kinship Sync. Yeah, so it's definitely a passion project and it came out of creativity. I believe creativity is my superpower. And I just wanted to bring it, family reunions up into like the 2026, bring it up to date.
The creativity definitely comes through. I even was checking the website and the branding is gorgeous. So congratulations on that. And I will definitely be downloading it because I've even used like regular event apps for our family reunions because I'm also like, I don't know if you are, but I'm the eldest sister. So of course, like family manager. So, or
Yes.
family assistant. And I've tried to use other platforms and they're not designed or tailored for family gatherings or more of like personal gatherings. So thank you for coming up with that app.
Oh, nice. Please give me your feedback. We're still in beta testing and we're always looking to discover new paths and make tweaks. So please share your feedback.
Absolutely. So talking about the creative process, what did this experience teach you about designing something simple, user friendly, and something that was tailored for your customer?
I would say the biggest thing is like, oh my God, this is tough. You have these great
Mm.
ideas and you're like, oh my, how do you put it into action in the steps? So using what I do 9 to 5 and then doing it for yourself, I can say it can be tough. So I would say huge perseverance. Be prepared to like uncover new learnings, new paths and tweaks and behaviors and things that you just didn't expect. And then just like the sky is the limit, like believe in yourself. Like we would sit at a corporation until we figure it out. And I feel like that's what we
Mhm.
also have to do with our personal brands and personal stories and just personal lives as well.
I love that. Yes, I totally agree with you. Recently I was talking to someone and they said that in the corporate space, it's actually like frowned upon to have an entrepreneurial spirit sometimes if you're not in the right corporation, obviously, in the right company. But I feel like this is it. Like you have such an entrepreneurial spirit that needs like this constant, like, feeling of creating and evolving and bringing more solutions into the space and I definitely hear that from what you're sharing with me. One of the things I asked you in the prep was you love to travel. So how do you include or how do you integrate your experiences traveling and exploring into how you think about storytelling, connection, or creating experiences?
Yes, I love traveling. It makes me happy and smile. That's like a happy
Mm-hmm.
reset place. And when I travel to different and cool places, I'm always like greeted differently. You know, the messaging and the different ads. I notice it. I'm sure you might notice it as well, being a
Mm-hmm.
marketer. When you arrive in that airport, I feel like each place like has their own rhythm and like their way of like doing things. And it's always like memorable, like how that place makes you feel. So I try to take that into my messaging, into marketing, and basically like the culture, the overall culture. Like you just don't want to just say something basic. Like speak to and treat them like you're welcoming guests into your home.
I
And
love
I,
that.
yeah.
So, kind of to wrap this up, we've talked about your career, we've talked about your personal passions, we've talked about travel. I'm asking every marketer I meet right now, what is the marketing trend that you think is going to change 2026? And how do you think marketers should adjust or adapt to fit the needs?
So the biggest marketing trend right now, I guess we can all say it together, probably is like AI, right? And I think the possibilities are endless from like a corporation like standpoint. What I'm seeing is like personalized ads and
Mm.
personalized like targeting, like they know so much about us, like we're able to like target customers with like a right offer that's directed just for them with the right tactic. And I think that's really, really cool. To like, oh, this person or Sarah, she gets a social media ad, but Bria, we're going to send her a direct mail. She likes to walk and check her mail and she's really proactive with mail. Knowing that about people, I think is crazy. It will save lots on budget and targeting and like I'm going to give Sarah $10 off. I'm going to give Bria a free phone with hers. I don't know, but I'm just throwing out examples. I think that's like huge. And I think that's going to grow and we're going to get like see insights from that and see where that takes us. I'm also interested in influencer marketing. I think that is just going to keep evolving and evolving. And I'm also seeing like live stream shopping. I remember like the QVC channels back in the
Mm-hmm.
day. Now they're like on social live stream shopping. So like with influencers and people purchasing in the moment, I think that's going to just take off and expand more and more. But it's all under the AI umbrella. I think the possibilities are endless.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, I feel like technology has always been a tool or has always been a resource for marketers, but just the advances in AI and algorithms this past couple years have been huge and insane. And obviously, marketers are still obliged to use their moral compass to use AI for the good. So on one side, that's definitely very important that we use technology to our favor to make our systems efficient, to even make better offerings to our clients. I feel like that really resonated with what you mentioned. Like, I don't want a free phone, but maybe you do. Maybe I want a discount. And just knowing that is going to give me a better product, a better solution, and provide that better experience as a consumer.
Right. Or do
And
you respond via email often, or are you see something on social media and click the link and then, download or shop now? Or do you go through your emails? Like knowing that about people, that's kind of scary and good at the same time.
yeah, like I said, I mean, as long as companies stay true to their values, like what tying back to what you were saying about your brand, staying true to who you are and upholding your ethics and your what you believe in, that should always lead us as marketers, in my personal opinion. And then the other side is like, yes, we have AI, we have all this technology is going wild, and we're all like trying to like catch up. But at the same time, what you mentioned about influencer marketing, that's also something that as an agency have seen grow in our own project. If you see our projects, like most of them are creator events right now, because there's nothing like building connection with people. And there's nothing that an ad can tell you better than a person, right?
Right.
So of course there are touch points and they are very useful as like follow-ups or different touch points with your customer, but then having a ambassador in your brand or having someone that can speak true to your service or to your product, that's completely like a game changer. And companies are understanding that more than ever. And creator budgets are on the rise. And I'm very, very happy to hear that you also see that coming up for this year. Okay, this has been such an insightful conversation. Thank you so much for walking us through your journey from all of the data-driven strategy to community-focused activation to building an experience that connects your people in meaningful ways. It was so interesting to hear about your personal projects, the way that you travel. I am also very passionate about what I do, and it's just really refreshing to see someone that shares that, and I'm sure that we'll continue to hear so much from you. So thank you for being here with us today, Bria.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been great.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another episode of EventUp Podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like, follow, and share the episode. We have put out an State of Experiential report, so you will find it in the description notes. So go download it, check it out. And until next time, keep creating real moments of impact. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. Tune in next time on EventUp.